On my morning runs in the park, I've always wondered to myself, what's happening underneath the waters right next to me? Are the fishes going for their morning swims before having an amazing McDonald's breakfast? To find out, I decided to take a leaf out of nature's textbook and create a mini aquarium simulating life under the surface for 100 days. I started setting up by taking a 7-year-old tank out of retirement. I took it out and set it on a table in my balcony and noticed it was quite dirty. So I took my gardening spray bottle and gave it a quick soaking before wiping it dry with some cloth I found. Once the tank had dried sufficiently, I started to add some tiny balls of soil which I got at the local fish store. When all of it was in, I used a spade-looking thing to even it all out. Next, it was time for the rocks. I chose 2 lava rocks as the main structures cause it looks kinda cool with all the holes in it. To connect these 2 rocks, I found a piece of wood to go in between. Apparently, these are called spiderwood, and I honestly think it looks quite nice. But because I have the memory of a goldfish here, I forgot to create a slope in the middle to give some sort of depth to the scape. Hence, I took it, moved some soil to the back before putting it all together again. It was now time for the sand. I was really trying to go for an uneven surface to mimic the natural architecture. When all the sand had been dumped in, I caved in and put some caves in my landscape. Oh, and yeah, apparently the spiderwood floats for the first few days, so I had to superglue it down. These rocks made a great hideout for an upcoming predator and prey. With all the rocks in place, I left it overnight to settle in. The next day, I started to plant the tank. I never really had any experience with planted tanks before, so watch as I struggled to get a piece of moss off my tweezers. After hours of immense sticking, the plants were finally in, and what a sight it was. With the tank done, it was now time to fill it up with some water. I used a siphon to fill the tank because I didn't want to blow up all the sand, and it worked. Until that happened. But no biggie, I got more water and off it went. Once the tank was filled, I left it alone to cycle in with the plants for a few days. On day 5, I added this lake's first micropredator, a yellow lab named Sunny, and he hates the leaves apparently. Sunny explored and settled right into his new landscape, and turns out, has some humor as well. So, as Sunny continued to explore the tank, marking out his territory, this mini lake now has one happy resident. Day 15 soon came. The plants had grown right in, and Sunny, who was on his own, started to get a little bored. And so, I decided to get him a friend. Well, he disappeared quickly, but here's our new resident, Silver, the Khuli Loach. These guys are nocturnal, but I think Silver didn't quite get the memo. However, when he did, he found this little cave safe from predators, coming out occasionally to find food, before diving right back into some plants. He is an escape artist, who still needs to perfect his craft just a little. By day 40, the tank had somewhat reached an equilibrium, I think. with the inhabitants providing nutrients for plants and the plants providing oxygen in return. However, not all was well as algae started to take over. So I got the best algae cleaners on the market, shrimps. Okay, maybe not the best, but definitely decent cleaners. They settled right into their new home, cleaning off algae on the rocks, in the soil, and even on the plants. One of them even thinks he's Tom Cruise, hanging underneath a rock. Everyone was living in harmony with each other, until Mr. Shrimps got eaten. And that was what was left of him when I came to check on the tank again. As Silver was simply chilling in his plants, there was only one suspect left, Mr. Sunny. Rest in peace, Mr. Shrimps. However, there was no time to lose, as the dry season of the lake is upon us. The water levels had decreased rapidly, exposing new layers of underwater elements which now became dry land. Aquatic plants were starting to dry out, and what was once a thriving oasis is now pockets of water where some micropredators like Sunny are trapped. With the lack of a micropredator in the ecosystem, out came a family I thought was wiped from the tank, Mr. Shrimp's family. But knowing what happened to Mr. Shrimps himself, I decided to take them out and create a new forever home for them. The shrimps were now safe, but the scorching sun was really taking a toll on the aquatic moss. Thankfully, the wet monsoon season soon came, bringing life back into the tank. This allowed Sunny to come back out in the new season in search of food. When the rain had finally cleared, Sunny was eagerly exploring his new landscape, kicking up sand as he goes along. Silver the Loach also came out to say hi. Life in the tank started to come together again. Just joking, I was simply doing a water change, and thought it was interesting to see how nature would react, and it did. By day 100, heavy foliage had now grown in. This provided Silver fantastic safety from the predators, and the predators themselves generate waste for the plants to thrive, creating even more shelter. All I have to do now is sit back, feed the fishes, and sip my coffee.